Cora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Hi, this is Mothermantiss. A short time ago, I put a video up talking about my impressions as a new/returning player to Destiny and how frustrating and difficult I found that onboarding process to be. So I thought I would follow that up with today's video, in which I'd like to talk to you about the things that I think Bungie does so well with Destiny, and why, if you haven't tried Destiny, you might want to give it a try, even if you're not really an MMO player traditionally. Anyway, here are the things that I think Bungie does really well with Destiny.
Battle stations!
Once you get past the early stages of trying to figure out what the hell's going on and what you're supposed to be doing, the game world opens out into a truly gorgeous and really fun experience. I unabashedly love playing Destiny 2, and even though I'm a fairly new player and I'm still potatoing my way through encounters, I really love this game. If you're on the fence about trying it out, let me give you a few reasons to give it a go. So from the perspective of a new player, here are 6 reasons why I love Destiny 2. This game has a detailed and powerful universe. The characters are compelling, imperfect, the villains are often morally gray instead of outright evil, which makes them way more interesting. Bungie has transitioned into a form of storytelling referred to as environmental storytelling, which uses a season, which is basically an expansion, to not only tell a standalone story of its own, but to reveal more and more about the story of the world through a feed of missions and lore drops. It's incredibly immersive and well done. The environmental art reveals lore details in a meaningful and well thought out fashion, and it's all incredibly beautiful. Destiny 2 offers a lot of activities, and while as a new player it can be insanely confusing, on the upside, to a great degree, you can choose the missions you want to finish and the enemies you want to fight. You can almost fully customize your character, and you can collect as many treasures and rewards as possible during the course of your gameplay. It can be played in single mode, as well as in multiplayer, where there are player versus player matches. For solo playing, there are missions, quests, adventures. When it comes to multiplayer, there are options to play with either friends or random strangers. The makers of the game have been very successful in taking feedback from the players, and they do continually improve and develop the game. They've taken the idea from players, even the critics, and they'll make them feel part of the game because of the input they're receiving. The game has had to fill some great shoes. Destiny has definitely gone above and beyond anyone's expectations. You will always get a reward for everything you do, whether it's a Crucible match or a short public event or a lost sector, whatever. At higher levels, you have to work harder for the drops you want, but you'll always get reputation and experience gains. You won't always get the gear you want, but cleverly, the game only shows you what you receive. So if you carried that potato through Crucible, you will not suffer the injustice of seeing them get a sweet exotic while you got another blue chess piece. The game world atmosphere in this game is excellent. Each area is diverse, the background music is tailored to each environment and gameplay. The quality is high, and the game just plain looks good and plays smoothly whether you're using an older console or a mid-range PC. You do not have to have a higher-end rig to have a great gameplay experience in this game. Every game has a segment of players that min-max their build and play competitively, but Many people in Destiny, myself included, just like to play what's enjoyable. You can watch content creators to get the feel of a build you might want to try, or just play what feels fun to you. This is where the fun is in this game. You don't have to grind out a relentless quest to be the best. You can. You can play quite a lot of content solo if you wish, which is what I've done. The game does expect and encourage you to participate in multiplayer missions and some PvP, but because of the way the in-game chat and texting is designed, with you having to proactively opt into that, you don't have to interact with any random at all if you don't want to. So if you happen to get stuck in a fire team with a sweaty player who's full of opinions about how you're doing, you'll never know. This makes it much less intimidating to try out PvP like Crucible or whatever, especially if you come from a background of MMOs known for both sweaty players and toxic dungeon chat. The game and gunplay itself is a blast. Titans, Warlocks, and Hunters, they feel distinct from each other in terms of their skill and movement abilities. You have glide, double jump, lift, blink, and slide. And depending on your class, you'll have different methods of moving across the map. Each class has access to amazing verticality and forward motion, but that verticality and forward motion is accessed through varying ways depending upon your class, in ways that enhance the fantasy of that character type. The movement mechanics are second to none, as is much of the gunplay mechanics. I've heard that Destiny's gunplay is as if Halo and Call of Duty had a baby, in the best of ways. I never played Call of Duty, but I do know that in Destiny, guns feel very satisfying to shoot. The weapons are different from each other too. Two different hand cannons can have very different feels from each other, and the weapons are responsive. The animations and sounds are really cool for most of the weapons. You can hear the difference between a lot of weapons if you pay attention. If you use a controller, there's a dynamic interaction with magnetism, aim acceleration, hitbox. From the rumble to the feeling on landing your shots, hitting headshots, or just hitting shots in general, while strafing, sliding, jumping, or running just feels really good on controller. The melee and the grenades are also easy and satisfying. Destiny 2 is not a perfect game by any means. It is somewhat painfully inaccessible to new players since it has no mentorship system, and since they remove so much early content, no functioning way to introduce new players to the game world. And okay, it can be grindy and repetitive, but Destiny's fantastic aspects vastly outweigh its drawbacks, in my opinion. It's definitely worth looking at if you're thinking about picking up a new first-person shooter MMO type game. If you do, be sure to check in with me on our Discord so we can steer you towards some info that's helpful to get new players over the frustrating early game bumps and straight to the part where you're a badass space warrior defending the Earth against evil. All right, so those are a few reasons why I love playing Destiny 2 and why I think you should consider it, especially if you happen to be an older player like me, or maybe not as old as me, but not a kid. The game's got a pretty robust community of people of all different ages. And don't let the onboarding experience in Destiny deter you from playing the game. The onboarding experience is a failing on Bungie's part. It does not do the game justice. The game, once you get over that hump, is totally worth it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.